Howdy, howdy, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 5th. Hope everybody's having a fantastic start to your morning. I hope you're up, you're awake, you're alert, you're ready to get the day started. I am a little bit groggy, but I am up, awake, and alert and ready to get the day started. We have so much shit to do with this damn house, y'all. I was hoping to be so much more impacted than we are at this point in time, and I have this big stack of wood in the garage that I really need to get through, and it's for the coffee and tequila set, and so I really need to be doing that today. I think I'm going to go through that today, get that done, so I can get that out of the way and start unpacking other boxes, getting other rooms set up, so it can just be like we're living in our house already. Moving is a pain in the ass. But I've been so addicted to reading all y'all's comments on this last episode of Coffee and Tequila. Yesterday we put out an episode of Coffee and Tequila all about the new gay-led romantic comedy Bros. The movie underperformed at the box office this last weekend, so we did an episode about it. We were just kind of giving our general thoughts about the movie Bros, and we posed the question, why didn't people show up for this movie, you know? And in the episode, we kind of just gave just reasons that may or may not be part of why people are not showing up for the movie. And one of my favorite parts about any sort of conversation, right, is when people come into this conversation and contribute different perspectives, different points of view, different ideas. I always think when people come into any sort of conversation just agreeing with everything all the time, it's a little bit boring, right? There's not a whole lot of room to move in the conversation, but when everybody has different ideas and different perspectives, there's a lot more conversation to be had. And I was really, really happy to see all of the responses and the engagement that we got on the last episode, because a lot of y'all came in real hot with, different perspectives and ideas, and you brought up a bunch of points that I just hadn't even thought of, So I think we're going to talk about a couple of those. This is going to be like a mini coffee and tequila episode. I'm going to try to get it done pretty quick. I do ramble, so I apologize if we just get a little ramble this episode and it ends up too long, but whatever. Okay, coffee and tequila. Yeah, this will be like a sort of afterthoughts episode, sort of responding to you guys' responses, and then I can put my phone away for the rest of the day. It'll be a blanket response, and I can go off and I can work on the shit that I need to work on so that my husband don't kick my ass. Okay, where do we start? I guess we can start with the queer community, and I say community as just a sort of blanket statement again for everybody to. I'm just going to use the damn word, okay? I know a lot of people get real heated over the word community, but kiss my ass, it's just the word we're going to use today. The queer community is not a monolith. I think we all should know that. That should be unspoken. Not everybody is going to agree with the same things. Not everything and everybody is going to believe the same things. And when there's this gay-led romantic comedy movie, not everybody feels the need to go. They don't feel like they have to go out and see it just because it's an LGBTQ film. And just because, it's about gay men doesn't mean all gay men have to go out and see it and flock to the theater to see it. I've seen a couple comments like that. And you're absolutely right. You're under no obligation to go do that. I think that just comes down to everybody as individuals, So speaking for myself, and I can speak for my husband, I know that because I know that we're kind of thinking on the same wavelength. It is important for us to go and check out queer media when it is out there because we want more queer media, right? It's just the math of it all. So if you want more of something, the math is just the math. You have to go and check out that thing when it is out there so that you can let the higher ups know who are making these projects. You can let them know you want more of this. So, Bros is a romantic comedy, and I'm not a big romantic comedy guy. I don't really do romantic comedies. I like the Julia Roberts romantic comedies, but generally, I'm a horror guy. I like horror movies, And I don't know if Alistair hadn't been around, I don't know if I would have gone to see this movie on opening weekend. I might not have. I might have pushed it off to another weekend, said I'd gone to see it another weekend, and then it could have even turned into like I missed the theatrical release and end up seeing it on streaming. But I know that I would have supported it at some point. Just because I do want to see more queer-led media. It's very, very important for us. For you, that you may not feel that same way. And again, it should be unspoken, but you are under no obligation to go see this. I'm not sitting here telling you to go see this movie because you have to, because you need to support this, you know. I feel I have to do that. I don't feel like you have to do what I believe, you know. Um, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that, but clearly I have to. I don't give a shit what you do. Don't go see the movie. See the movie. It's all on you. But so there's a flurry of reasons that were kind of given here that why people didn't show up to see this movie, right? Because it did underperform at the box office. It came in at number 4, like $4.8 million opening weekend, and it could do better beyond that, but just opening weekend, it was a little bit underwhelming. And a lot of y'all contributed some reasons that, you know, I didn't even consider before. One of those being, and maybe we considered them, but we just didn't speak about them. But one of those being, some people are just not ready to go to the movies right now, you know? Not ready to return to the movie theater. They'd rather watch it on streaming. And I do think that they should have put this movie on streaming as well, because I believe after the theatrical run, it's going to have more of a life on streaming. You know, people are going to screenshot it. People are going to cut clips of it and make memes and GIFs and all of those different things that, I don't know, this is the age that we're in with consuming media, you know? And so you want people to talk about your movie. And I feel like if the movie were on streaming and people were able to see it more at their leisure, right? I think somebody pointed out, you know, going to see $40 is a big stretch these days, you know, and I understand that. When you just have it on Netflix, it's just so easy to like pop in some cookies in the oven, pop on the movie, and watch it at your leisure. So I do think it'll do better on streaming. Another thing, just timing in general is a big one. I don't know how the fuck I didn't consider this, but there was a freaking hurricane, man. I guess just people fleeing from their homes and fleeing the hurricane just didn't have time to go to the movies. That should have been obvious to me. I feel so embarrassed that I didn't even bring that part up. Sort of outside the hurricane aspect of it, it's October, it's spooky season. People are into October spooky season content, you know, right now. I also think like a lot of people pointed out that rom-coms just aren't in right now. It's just not the time for rom-coms. People don't really care about rom-coms. You know, people would like to go see Top Gun and get the thrill from like a Marvel movie or, you know, a horror movie. Horror is doing fantastic this year, you know, and it's making me real happy to see. And this month, you know, the Bros went up against Smile, and Smile came out on top. It's a horror movie. It made $19 million, came in at number 1 at the box office, you know. And I think that just kind of like shows where people's mindsets are at. And, you know, people just don't want to go see a rom-com right now, you know. Or maybe they would have seen it on streaming, but they're not going to theater to see a rom-com right this second. Let's talk about the Billy Eichner of it all, right? A lot of people were pointing out that Billy Eichner and his style of comedy, they just don't vibe with him. And I think that's fair as well. You know, I'm not super familiar with all of Billy Eichner's content. I very much know Billy on the Street. Everybody knows Billy on the Street. And I think Billy on the Street is hilarious. But some people have pointed out that his sort of in-your-face aggressive style of comedy is just not for them. And they don't really have an interest in going to see a movie where, you know, the indication could be that that's more of that sort of comedy. And I get that, you know. I like Billy on the Street, so I was like, you know, the correlates. I might like the movie, but you don't like Billy on the Street, you might not like the movie. Other people have said that they may not have seen it opening weekend, but they plan to see it before, and sort of Billy's response to the underwhelming response to this movie, box office wise, has put them off. And again, that's understandable. He put out a series of tweets, and I think we read it in the episode, and he was basically he was clearly very frustrated with the box office underperformance of this movie, right? And he was putting blame on certain groups of people, like the straight people. He was putting it on homophobia, and I'll give him a little bit of understanding there, because it takes so much blood, sweat, and tears, and you put your heart and soul into projects like this, just any project in general, you know, and it has to be soul crushing to see it sort of underperform in the way that it is underperforming for him. That being said, it's not the best move, dude. Just not the best move to start putting people off when your movie just came out, right, there's still a chance for it to do better and for people to go see this movie. Like, continue promoting your movie, continue singing its praises and saying what you love about it and why people should go see it and putting clips out there. Keep pushing the movie, but maybe don't put people off just yet. And people do feel put off, so it's not coming from my ass, it's coming from y'all. Another one being, it doesn't, some people don't relate to it, and some people do need to go to get them out of their house and to the movie theater. Maybe they need to feel like they relate to something or can see themselves in a certain movie. And I kind of pointed out that I didn't really see myself in this movie, but it was a great movie to watch for me, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't really see myself in it. And other people were pointing that out as well. It's like, well, watch the trailer, and it doesn't really seem like that's something for me. It seems like that's a movie that's for a very specific audience. And maybe straight people won't like it. Maybe I won't like it as a gay man because I'm not, a gay who lives in New York and lives, I don't know. A bunch of different reasons why some people just don't relate to it. And maybe in that reason, they're like, well, maybe I'll skip this one or I'll wait till it comes out on streaming. Speaking of the homophobia, though, I have gotten some comments. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting everything. My phone died, so I don't have my notes here. But I did put the homophobia right at the end because it's something I wanted to talk about at the end. The homophobia is real. I've seen a lot of comments saying, well, there's no homophobia attached to this. Like, stop putting homophobia where there is none. And people giving that sort of commentary. And to that, I will offer a hard disagree. I have seen the homophobia with my own eyes. You can go on Twitter, you can go on Facebook, and you can see people clearly being homophobic about this movie and attributing that to the reason why they will not go see that movie. So you have a section of people who will not see it for homophobic reasons, It just is what it is. When it's obviously there, and there's no way around it, And so I'm going to see it, I call it out, it's right there. And that's just that, Is the homophobia the reason that the movie bombed, the sole reason that the movie bombed? Is it the biggest? Is it the most overarching reason that the movie is underperforming right now? I don't think so. I don't think people are not showing up for this movie because they're homophobic in large masses, right? I think that is like a group of people, but I don't think it is the group of people, I think there's just a flurry of reasons why people are not going to see this movie. Another thing, this is kind of comment that I really don't understand. I think it's kind of wild, but there's people that have put it out there. They're like, it's just a bad movie, so I'm not going to go see it. I was like, okay. I didn't know it's a bad movie if you're not going to see it, if you're not checked it out. How you can call it a bad movie? So I'm not going to give any credit to those sorts of comments. I think those are stupid. There is a stupid comment, and that is the stupid comment. I don't know. There's just not really a singular reason why this movie is just underperforming. I think to make it that black and white and to say that it comes down to X, Y, or Z is just not truthful. I think there's a bunch of different reasons, but I think the most simple answer here is that it just doesn't seem, and this is just what I pull from general consensus from my comments, it is just not clicking with people right now. It just doesn't seem to be clicking with people. And I don't know, there's not really a way around that. You can't really, I don't know, I can't sit here and say, oh, you have to click with this movie. People just aren't, So, I don't know. That's my long-winded sort of little response to this. I love seeing all of the back and forth here when it's respectful, right? Don't be an asshole. Give your point of view and engage in conversation and be respectful and be courteous, be understanding, whatever. But don't be a dick. So that's my little spiel, my little rant on this Wednesday morning. I hope you enjoyed this little mini Afterthoughts episode, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you later.